Imagine this: Jude Bellingham stops dead in his tracks at the 60-minute mark, gasping for air. Kylian Mbappé tries to explode past a defender, but his legs feel like they are trapped in wet cement. Lionel Messi looks at the tactical whiteboard, but his brain is processing the instructions a fraction of a second too late. The world's best tactical minds are being brutally defeated by an enemy they cannot even see. It is not a genius counterattack. It is not a generational star striker. It is a simple, crushing 3-hour time jump between matches. Right now, in the middle of the 2026 World Cup, we are witnessing elite global powerhouses completely collapse in the second half. Their tactical setups are flawless on paper. Their squads are worth billions. But their internal biological clocks are still stuck 3 time zones away. Welcome to Pitch Report, the home of deep football analytics. Today, we are uncovering the hidden, continent-sized crisis rigging the 2026 group stages. Circadian rhythms are dismantling elite football. As top-tier teams cross thousands of miles between fixtures, acute sleep deprivation and severe metabolic fatigue are triggering unprecedented meltdowns. This is the invisible hand deciding results across North America. If you think tactics alone win World Cups, think again. In 2026, the team that masters the map will lift the trophy, not just the team that masters the ball. For decades, the modern World Cup was defined by proximity. Think back to Russia in 2018, where teams set up camp in localized hubs. Think back to Qatar in 2022, a tournament so physically compact that teams could drive between stadiums in under an hour. In Qatar, players slept in the same beds for a month. They trained on the exact same pitches every single day. Their bodies existed in a state of absolute physiological equilibrium. The 2026 World Cup has completely shattered that luxury. We are looking at a 3,000-mile cross-continental logistical nightmare spanning 3 nations, multiple climates, and 4 distinct time zones. Teams are no longer just playing football, they are running an ongoing aviation marathon. An elite squad can play a high-intensity match in the humid heat of Miami, pack their bags, board a charter flight, and find themselves landing in a chilly Vancouver evening a few hours later. They haven't just changed stadiums. They have forced their biological infrastructure to adapt to a completely new reality. To understand why this is destroying favorites like England and France, we have to look at the basic science of human biology. Human beings operate on a circadian clock, an internal 24-hour cycle regulated by the hypothalamus. This clock dictates everything: when cortisol spikes, when body temperature drops, and when athletic performance peaks. In sports science, travel direction matters immensely. Traveling westward elongates the day, which the human body accommodates relatively well. Traveling eastward, however, truncates the day. This forces the internal clock to advance, which runs completely against our natural biological programming. When an elite squad travels from west to east across 3 time zones, they face a severe physiological penalty. They are suddenly forced to step onto a pitch for a 4 p.m. local kickoff while their internal biological clock insists it is 1 p.m. Worse yet, for evening games, players are asked to deliver peak athletic output, sprinting at 22 miles per hour and making split-second tactical decisions, during what their brains perceive as biological midnight. You cannot override millions of years of human evolution with an espresso or a motivational team talk. The data backing this up is terrifying for high-performance directors. Sports science tracking data from the opening group fixtures reveals a direct, undeniable correlation between distance traveled and physical degradation. Teams that covered more than 2,000 miles within a 72-hour window experienced an average 15% drop in high-intensity sprints during the final 30 minutes of matches. In elite modern football, a 15% drop is the difference between a world-class athlete and an amateur. It means a defensive midfielder arrives half a second late to a tackle. It means a center-back loses their explosive leap by 2 inches. It means an attacker lacks the sharp acceleration needed to break an offside trap. The map is actively stripping away the physical advantages of the world's most expensive squads before they even touch the ball. Why does this exhaustion hit so violently around the 60-minute mark? The answer lies inside the liver and skeletal muscle tissue. Circadian misalignment completely disrupts the body's ability to metabolize glucose and store glycogen efficiently. Under normal conditions, an athlete's body manages energy stores like a finely tuned machine. But when sleep cycles are fragmented by time zone hopping, insulin sensitivity drops, and glucose tolerance becomes highly erratic. When players hit the pitch under severe jet lag, their muscles burn through stored glycogen at a drastically accelerated rate. They are essentially driving a sports car with a leaking fuel tank. For the first 45 minutes, adrenaline and sheer willpower can mask the deficit. But as the match crosses into the 60th minute, the biological bill comes due. The tank runs dry. The players gas out completely, experiencing profound metabolic fatigue that no amount of conditioning can prevent. Let's look at the tactical footage from recent group stage upsets. Watch how elite, highly disciplined defensive units completely lose their structural integrity late in the game. In the first half, the lines are perfectly compact. The distance between the defensive line and the midfield anchor is a textbook 15 meters. They move as a single, cohesive unit, shifting laterally with every pass the opposition makes. Now look at the 75th minute. The favorite team has crossed 2 time zones just 3 days prior. The shape is entirely broken. The gaps between players stretch to 30 meters. The pressing triggers are completely ignored because the wingers no longer have the physical energy to close down the opposing fullbacks. The stationary, geographically rested underdog can see this clear as day. They exploit these massive spaces with ease, moving the ball effortlessly through an exhausted midfield and scoring late, shocking goals against heavy-legged giants. Fatigue is not just physical, it is profoundly cognitive. The brain consumes an immense amount of energy during a football match, constantly processing spatial data, calculating ball trajectories, and predicting opponent movements. When sleep is disrupted by travel, the central nervous system suffers first. During transition moments, the precise seconds when a team switches from attack to defense, reaction times and split-second decisions are everything. Under the influence of metabolic fatigue, a player's visual processing slows down by vital milliseconds. They don't see the runner overlapping from deep. They hesitate for a fraction of a second before stepping up to play an offside trap. They make a poor pass choice, turning the ball over in their own half. These are not technical failures, they are neurological failures caused by an exhausted brain crying out for deep REM sleep. The tournament schedule design is not inherently equal. Because of how the groups are assigned across venues in the United States, Canada, and Mexico, some nations have drawn relatively comfortable regional paths, while others face absolute logistical nightmares. Consider the difference between a hub schedule and a zigzag schedule. A mid-tier team might find themselves assigned to a West Coast cluster. Their games alternate between Los Angeles and Seattle. The flight is short, the time zone change is 0, and their climate remains entirely consistent. They can maintain a highly predictable, stable daily routine. Now look at the brutal path forced upon Argentina. They might start a campaign on the West Coast, fly southeast to the deep heat of Houston for their second match, and then rocket over to New York or Miami for their final group fixture. They are constantly losing hours, fighting entirely different humidity levels, and spending precious recovery days sitting in pressurized metal tubes at 35,000 feet. The schedule itself acts as a massive leveler, dragging elite squads down into the physical mud. In tournament football, a 24-hour advantage in recovery time is massive. In a continent-sized tournament, that value doubles. Teams entering a match with an extra day of local acclimation over their opponent won their fixtures at a stunningly higher rate, completely defying the pre-match betting odds. When a travel-weary heavy favorite faces a rested underdog that has been sitting quietly in their match city hub for 5 days, the playing field isn't level. The underdog can run a high-intensity, aggressive press for all 90 minutes. They know their opponent's legs will give out in the second half, and they simply wait out the storm before striking. We saw this play out perfectly in some of the most shocking early results of the group stage. Take, for example, a top 5 ranked European powerhouse featuring a squad of Champions League winners. On paper, their tactical superiority should have seen them win comfortably. Their manager set up a beautiful positional play system designed to overload the wide areas. But on the pitch, the tactics were completely useless. The squad had just completed a cross-country flight across 3 time zones less than 72 hours prior. The players looked like they were running through wet cement. The crisp, one-touch passing lanes turned into slow, sloppy sequences. The opposition, a highly physical squad that had spent the entire week training in the local stadium, simply squeezed the space, won the physical duels, and hit them on a swift counterattack. The luxury travel logistics failed, and a giant was brought down. Elite football associations do not lack financial resources. As soon as the 2026 travel routing was announced, medical departments spent millions of dollars trying to engineer a technological solution to the jet lag crisis. Staff filled hotel rooms with high-tech gear, light therapy glasses designed to emit specific blue wavelengths to reset circadian cycles, custom-calibrated melatonin protocols for every player, and heavy, pressurized compression recovery pods meant to stimulate blood flow and speed up muscle tissue repair. But these expensive tools are proving completely ineffective against the sheer scale of the travel. You can put blue light glasses on a player, but you cannot trick their autonomic nervous system into forgetting that it flew 2,500 miles east. The human body is an incredibly complex organic ecosystem. It syncs to local environments through a complex web of environmental factors, including local sunlight, ambient temperature, meal timing, and atmospheric pressure. Trying to bypass this delicate balance with quick tech fixes is like trying to fix a broken car engine with a fresh coat of paint. Tactical football at the highest level requires an immense amount of mental flow, a psychological state where players read intentions, anticipate movements, and react instinctively without conscious thought. This flow state is built on absolute routine, comfort, and environmental predictability. The endless cycle of packing bags, boarding buses, clearing airport security, flying for hours, and unpacking in a brand new hotel completely destroys this psychological baseline. Cortisol levels, the body's primary stress hormone, remain permanently elevated. Instead of focusing entirely on the upcoming opponent's tactical weaknesses, players find themselves stuck in a state of mild, chronic travel anxiety. They are living out of suitcases, eating hotel food, and sleeping in unfamiliar beds every single week. When psychological harmony is broken, tactical cohesion on the pitch follows immediately. When nighttime sleep is cut short by late-night charter flights and early morning travel windows, team doctors frequently tell players to make up the deficit with structured daytime power naps. They set up quiet zones in hotels, hand out luxury eye masks, and schedule mandatory quiet periods. However, sleep specialists warn that power napping is a deeply flawed substitute for proper overnight rest. A 30-minute afternoon nap primarily consists of light stage 1 and stage 2 sleep. It can provide a temporary boost in basic mental alertness, but it completely fails to deliver the deep, slow-wave sleep and REM cycles that occur during an uninterrupted 8-hour night. It is during deep sleep that the body releases human growth hormone to repair torn muscle fibers, flushes metabolic waste from the brain, and solidifies tactical patterns into long-term muscle memory. Without real, deep sleep, players remain physically degraded, regardless of how many short naps they take. As we head out of the group stages and into the knockout rounds, we need to stop thinking about matches as isolated, separate events. We have to look at them through the lens of accumulated fatigue debt. Think of fatigue like a high-interest credit card. A team can overexert themselves and travel poorly in match 1, surviving on raw talent. They can do it again in match 2. But by the time they reach the final group game and the round of 32, the interest on that physical debt becomes due. The squads that have spent the last 2 weeks comfortably clustered within a tight geographical region, such as the Texas Hub or the Northeast Corridor, have kept their physical balance sheets entirely clean. They are entering the high-pressure knockout rounds with fully charged batteries. Meanwhile, the heavy favorites who won their groups while crisscrossing the continent are entering the knockouts in a state of physical bankruptcy. Expect major, shocking bracket upsets early on, driven by this massive energy imbalance. Look closely at the final group stage fixtures. There are several clear trap games where world giants are highly vulnerable to crashing out of the tournament entirely. Find the groups where a top-seeded team needs at least a draw to advance, but has to fly across multiple time zones right before facing an aggressive, energetic opponent that has been waiting for them locally. These are the exact matchups where historic upsets will occur. The exhausted giants will try to slow the game down, dominate possession, and preserve their energy. But if the energetic underdog scores an early goal, the favorite will not have the physical reserves needed to turn the match around. Their legs will fail them, their pressing lines will break, and we will see championship contenders heading home early. For a century, the formula for winning a World Cup was relatively straightforward. You needed a visionary manager, world-class squad depth, brilliant technical execution, and a bit of luck. In 2026, that traditional formula has been completely upended. The 2026 World Cup champion will not be the team that plays the most beautiful football. It will be the team that manages the map most effectively. It will be the nation whose logistics staff plans the most flawless recovery windows. It will be the squad that protects its players' sleep cycles like a priceless asset. The pitch is no longer just 105 meters long. In 2026, the pitch is an entire continent wide, and the invisible saboteur of jet lag is the one truly running the game. Which major football giant do you think will fall victim to the travel map next? Let us know your bracket predictions in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to Pitch Report for more deep tactical breakdowns. We will see you next time.